Love the picture behind you, Ben. Beautiful, beautiful picture. Visit Palestine. I love that. All right, everyone. I am going to be introducing Ben here to our guest today. We have Ben Marmarelli. Ben Marmarelli is an advocate for Palestinian political prisoners, representing some of the most well-known ones, including Marwan Barghouthi. He has been vocal about the systematic abuse and torture that is going on in Israeli prisons. Thank you so much, Ben, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I know we had to reschedule, and I really, really appreciate you working with us. I want to kind of just start off with you. You know, you've recently been publicly speaking about the conditions forced or faced by your Palestinian clients in Israeli custody. Can you describe what you have personally witnessed and the biggest concerns you have raised?
Sure. I witnessed with my own eyes, I saw prisoners walking down the corridor, all of them walking as if they were just raped. I saw not just my client, more prisoners walking like this. I saw bruises on my client. I saw boot prints on all of his back, boot prints, and I saw bloodlines when where the handcuffs are being put. I saw how they're being handcuffed forcefully, very strongly, and I saw the marks of the bruises, of the beatings. That I saw with my own eyes, but also I saw from my client's mouth. I heard what he told me, what they are going through, which is, of course, the denial of food. They don't get enough food. I I wrote down the entire menu that they're getting. They're not getting enough food. They're getting less food than the food that the IPS, the Israeli Prison Service, is saying that they are giving. So they're not getting enough food. They don't get enough clothes. They don't have underwear, hygiene products, shaving products. They had their window was taken down. Later, because of my petition, some of the things were given to the prisoners, like hygiene products, shaving products, clothes, and also the window was closed. All thanks to my petition for one prisoner in Ganot prison. Uh, but still, this is the situation. They don't have any visitations. They don't get any visitations of any sort. Only the specific lawyer of the specific client is allowed to visit the prisoner. So no one is visiting them. They don't get any news. They don't have television. They don't have radio. They don't have internet. They don't have newspapers. They don't know who is the prime minister. They don't know if the war is over. They don't know if there's a
Wow.
ceasefire. They don't know anything. Their only connection is with their specific lawyer, and only for to do professional advocacy, like petitions like the ones I did, the ones that got him what I did get to the prisoners, like mattresses. They didn't even have mattresses. Now this is a specific prison, in a specific wing, in a specific prison. They didn't have mattresses. There's 12 people in a 6 persons room, six
Wow.
persons cell, 6 beds, 6 iron beds, no mattresses. Now they have mattresses after my petition. uh, 12 people live in this 6 person cell. Six sleep on the floor and six on the iron beds, now on mattresses. Now they have mattresses. But for a very long time, they didn't even have mattresses, so my client was sleeping on the floor on his shirt.
And before we go into the petition, because I do want to address that, you mentioned just right now that the only connection they have to the world is, or to the outside world, is through their lawyer. But you've mentioned before that one of your clients, every single time that you would visit, they would be raped. Can you elaborate on that what that did to you? Did you stop going because they said, please don't, the prisoner said, do not come and visit
Yes,
me? What
yes,
what what escalated? What happened after that when you knew that every time you were there that this would happen?
yes. The thing is that since the 7th of October, the conditions got worse, got very bad. And since the 7th of October, the IPS did all sorts of things in order to inhibit. First of all, they stopped all visitations. So since the 7th of October, there's no visitations. The only visitations are the lawyers. And then they started to try and inhibit the lawyers' visits as well. How did they do that? In all sorts of ways. For example, I would come to a prison and I would be left out of the prison for 4 hours and then been told that I can't get in today. So I would drive 2.5 hours each way, 4 hours waiting outside, and then not even seeing the client. Another way of that they have was setting a date for a very long time. Like I asked for a visitation in May, and I got a date in October. So that's 5 months. That's not reasonable. I filed a petition about that to the district court, and the district court said no. You have to give the lawyer the visit as soon as possible. This is the court said this. So ever since this petition from July, they did set the visits early, like within 2 weeks. But every time I came, they would rape him and torture him. So then he asked me not to come anymore. He was raped and beaten every time I came to visit. So he actually asked me not to come anymore. Uh, it's a horrible situation, and I didn't visit him since. He asked me not to come anymore.
Wow. So how long has it been since you haven't visited
I
him?
last saw him in November.
Okay, so now when it comes to legal aspects, did you raise these concerns to the Israeli court systems, about the systematic torture that's been happening? And what response did you receive, if any? I know that I don't know if it was you got punished by Israel because you were so outspoken all over this. If you can also elaborate on what happened with you when you started to expose the truth that was happening to the Palestinians in these
Yes,
prisons.
I've had complaints filed against me at the Israeli Bar Association. They're trying to revoke my license.
Wow.
There's two complaints against me now. One by right-wing activists and one by the IPS itself. Yes,
So that is still right now ongoing only because
it's
you
ongoing. Yes,
exposed what is
yes.
going on. And anything about, your client, if you raised those concerns to the court system or to Israeli courts, was there any response? Did this end? Did they
The
raise
court, the court
mhm.
said they will not discuss the torture and the rape. The court said they
Mm.
will not discuss the torture and the rape. If you want to discuss the torture and the rape, you should file a complaint to the police.
Oh, to the
I,
police, to the Israeli
to the
police.
police. I did file a complaint to the police. The police didn't even answer me. But
Of course. Of course. I mean, we know the Israeli police have their own torture and abuse towards Palestinians. So, this is such an important point to make, that Palestinians that are being abused and tortured, in Israeli prisons are told to go to the police, and the police don't do anything because they are part of this entire system. So in the end, the
Yes, and
Palestinians have nobody.
they're both under the same minister, Itamar Ben
Exactly.
Gvir. Itamar Ben Gvir is head of the ministry that is in charge both the police and the IPS.
Yep, exactly. And we know that Ben Gvir does tours for people to go through the prisons and watch how they are treated. We've seen that several times this past few months. Um, Let me see here. Okay, wow, this is just so horrendous. So what are you now doing when it comes to all of this? Where do you stand? How can people help advocate with you? Are you in talks with human rights associations that can help, whether it's inside of, occupied Palestine or outside? Have people reached out to you to try to help in any way, shape, or form?
Of course, I'm in contact with many organizations and other lawyers that are doing the same thing. Um, this is the situation, you know. If anyone wants to support me, of course, everyone can support me if they want. But I'm doing this as a lawyer. I'm practicing lawyer. People hire my services to do the job, and they pay me money for it, of course. But for the public posts and all that, I do this voluntarily. Of course, I have a buy me a coffee thing. If anyone wants to buy me a coffee, they can. You know, but that's it.
And And we're seeing more and more Palestinians now that are coming out and exposing the severe abuse, the SA, and the torture inside of Israeli prisons. More Palestinians are now finally speaking out. Do you see that there would be an end to this at all if more Palestinians spoke out, if more lawyers are now, kind of formed this union of some sort and filed a bigger complaint? Or do you feel like because they are Palestinians under this Israeli occupation and oppression and very racist government, that nothing will change?
I'm not optimistic. I think the situation is quite clear. I don't see the Israeli government doing anything positive. Of course, everything gets even worse every year, and the courts are not helping. What I can do, what human rights advocates can do, is file petitions to the court, but the courts, as I said, the courts are not really helping.
And do you see more lawyers who do like represent, like any Jewish lawyers that are representing Palestinians in these prisons are now coming out and also speaking out? Or do you feel like because they may be afraid, like how there's now petitions against you, that their license would be revoked or anything of that sort, that they would rather not
Of
speak
course,
out?
this is what they wanted. They wanted to intimidate. They intimidate others not to do what I do uh, through me, of course.
Wow. Well, I applaud you, Ben, for taking the stance and having the courage to speak out and be the voice for the your Palestinian prisoners that don't have a voice. I think that we as Palestinians are and many people try to deny this. You see a lot of Israelis, even Israelis here in the chat, they're saying this is not true. This doesn't exist. There's no such thing. That's why, this. But how much more proof do people need
The
to?
Zionists, listen, you don't need to listen to Zionists. Anything the Zionists say is bullshit, always. They don't know how to tell the truth, Zionists. Zionists,
Ben.
Zionists, Zionists don't care about the truth. They think the truth is only second to the Hasbara perspective. All they want is
Mhm.
propaganda. All they care about is propaganda. They don't care about the truth. Zionists are psychos.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, absolutely. Do you, is this, okay, so this, this rape, this systematic rape that we're seeing, is this accepted by Israeli society that you are now seeing? Like, do you see like
Yes,
most people? Yes.
yes. We
Israeli
saw
society allows
just
this.
yes, just recently we saw a case, the only case that was filed against soldiers who raped a Palestinian prisoner, and there was a big demonstrations supporting the rapists. So it was lately, not that long ago. There were big demonstrations supporting the rapists. So Israeli society supports rape and torture. Yes.
So this is very concerning. I want people to listen to this, that Israeli society, a lot of times you'll hear it's just the government, but the society, the people, the Israelis
The
accept
Zionists,
this.
the
Yep.
Zionists. There
They
are Israeli
accept.
citizens that are Palestinians, you know. There are Israeli citizens that are not Zionists, but the Zionists all think like this. Yes,
So this is part of their, this is accepted. This is
this
accepted
is the
amongst
Zionist
them.
ideology. Zionist ideology is ideology of racism, of
Hmm.
colonialism, of oppression. It's a racist ideology, and anyone who is a Zionist supports, of course, genocide and supports apartheid.
Yeah. Wow.
That's
What?
Zionism. That's Zionism. That's what Zionism is.
How, what can we do to help the Palestinian prisoners? Is there anything that we can do? Anybody that is outside of,
I think,
Palestine?
yeah, I think what can we do? What we can do is try and be vocal about it, vocal about the end of apartheid, end of colonialism, decolonization, equal rights. That's what I do. That's what I try to do in my spare time. You know,
And you're still representing the Palestinian, you still have the Palestinian client, the one that you have not seen since November, correct?
yes,
Okay. But you have not been able to see him because he told you, do not come. Every time you visit me, I get raped.
yes.
Wow. Ah, well, Ben, I think you are doing what many people are scared to do, especially living inside of occupied Palestine, where now you have petitions against you. They're trying to silence you, which is known
Not
anytime that
petitions,
anybody
it's complaints. It's not petitions, it's
complains. Oh,
complaints.
complaints. Okay, they have complaints
Petition is what I do.
against.
I file petitions.
Yes. All right, so I have a few people here that would like to ask a few questions for you, Ben, if that's okay. We'll open it up to the panel.
Just
Uh,
no Zionists. No
no
Zionists.
Zionists. No, we don't. Yeah, no.
I don't answer Zionists. I don't talk to Zionists.
Absolutely. Okay, go ahead, Viking Mom, if you wanted to start, and then we'll go down to Rando and then Anthony Aguilar.
No, absolutely. Hi, Ben. Thank you for coming, and definitely thank you for raising your concerns and speaking the truth of what's really happening over there towards the Palestinians. I have a question. So I'm from the UK, and there is a lot of lawyers, solicitors that are raising the concerns of what's really happening to the Palestinian people. Have you spoken to the lawyers and solicitors here in the UK and other countries who are standing for the right reasons of what you're doing?
No,
Yeah.
Is there a reason?
Oh, go ahead.
No, is there a reason you haven't?
I don't have any lawyer friends in the UK. Nobody talk to me. If anyone wants to talk to me, I answer. I will answer. They can contact me. I don't. What do you want me to do? I don't understand the question.
So there's a lot of support here. There's this country here where I am. We do support Palestine very heavily, despite the government of what they're doing. And there's a bunch of solicitors here in London that are raising cases. They're doing exactly what you're doing, raising cases, raising articles, everything you're possibly doing to recognize the great crimes, the assaults, everything. But unfortunately, their voices are not being heard. Would you look into or get in contact with anyone that are doing the same thing?
I don't
I think he's
understand what
saying
you are.
that if anybody wants to connect with him, that they are able to reach out to him. And I think,
Anyone can reach out to me.
yeah,
Anyone can talk to me. Feel free. You can send my contact to anyone.
yeah. And if anybody does have contacts with anybody that is outside, like lawyers, that would be great if they want to send them to Ben or have them reach out to him. Thank you, Viking Mom. Go ahead, Rando.
Hi, everyone. So Ben, have you seen the new B'Tselem report update that came out this week? Did you have any connection with it? And if so, what? And if not, did you get a chance to read it? And what do you think of it?
I didn't read the one that was published last week, but I read the last one. I read the previous one. I know they don't go through me. No, I don't have a connection with it. B'Tselem is an organization that does its own work, and good on him.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Rando. And then we have Anthony Aguilar. Ben, I don't know if you know Anthony. He was the whistleblower for the GHF in Gaza.
Yes, I saw your
Yes,
interview. Yes, I saw.
yes,
You're a
yes.
very,
So
very courageous man. Yes.
yes,
I
I think both
I
of
don't
you.
have a question, Ben. I just wanted to personally thank you for your courage and for what you're doing. I can say that I've shared in the experience of how the pushback comes towards you when you try to stand up for what's right and doing the right thing morally and ethically. And I know that what you're doing comes at great risk, and I'm very thankful for you continuing to pursue what's right, and it's courageous. And I just wanted to say thank you. I don't have any questions, sir.
You also.
Yes, I think both of
I
you.
enjoyed your interviews. And I think you did a very important thing.
Thank you. You're doing important work. It's all important to shed light on the truth of what's happening. That this is not a religious issue. This is not an anti-Semite issue. This is not a hatred towards Israelis issue. This is a matter of those in power wanting to retain power and lying and doing everything they can to maintain that, and they do it through dehumanization.
It's a matter of Zionism.
Yes.
Zionism.
Yes.
That's the thing. The thing is this ideology of racism, of apartheid, of colonialism, of oppression. This is ideology of hate. This is Zionism. It's not just one government. It's not just one country. It's this ideology, the colonialist ideology. That it's not just Israel. It's also United States. It's all of the West. It's the Europe.
Absolutely.
They're all colonialists. They started colonialism. Israel is just one of the tools of colonialism.
That's right. And I thank you for your voice and speaking out on that. Again, I know that speaking out against the machine comes with risk, and I applaud your courageousness, and it gives me it gives me inspiration to continue to speak out too, knowing that I'm not alone in this. So thank you very much. And I'm just here to listen if anybody has any questions, but I just wanted to hear you and thank you.
Yeah, and for anybody that's listening, by the way, we have Ben and Anthony, both that exposed Israel, exposed, like Ben said, Zionism through the United States as well, and their crimes that was committed in Gaza. And both got a lot of backlash. You have Ben right now. He has complaints to try to revoke his license. Anthony, they tried to come after him for many months. And the GHF was, he was targeted by GHF for exposing the truth. So this is what happens when you try to speak out, just like Anthony said, against the machine. And there is a lot of backlash. But when you have that courage and you finally say, enough is enough, It takes one and others will follow. So I really do applaud both of you for, taking that stance and which many other people would not take because they would be afraid. So two amazing individuals here. Really quick, before we go to Celine, Ben, somebody wanted me to ask you about the law to the death penalty for Palestinians that Ben-Gvir was trying to pass. Could you talk about that a little bit and kind of shed some light on it if it passed or what stopped it from passing and all of that?
It just may pass. Yes, it will pass. Maybe, probably. First of all, you have to understand there already is a death penalty in Israel under military rule. Military courts can issue the death penalty. They already can do this, but the policy was not to do it. That was the long time policy not to issue the death penalty. But now this policy is changing. So they already started requesting the death penalty. They already started it even before this new law. This new law is saying that the death penalty will be mandatory. That it will not be in consideration. It will be mandatory to issue the death penalty. That's the new law. But before this law is even passing, what we already have is the death penalty with the consideration. And now the policy of this government is to ask the prosecutors, the military prosecutors that are prosecuting the Palestinian prisoners in military courts, to ask for the death penalty.
And does the law apply only for Palestinians?
First of all, only Palestinians are tried in the military courts. So yes, it's only.
Did you guys hear that? Only Palestinians are tried in military court.
Yes, it calls for Palestinians. It calls for Palestinians. So of course, only Palestinians can get the death penalty.
Yeah.
Wow. And real quick, Ben, since we're talking, I just remembered to ask you, we recently saw the judge that was supposed to be that was supposed to try Bibi Netanyahu. He was killed. Is that correct? He was killed in a car crash, or is that not correct, if I'm not mistaken?
No.
No? Okay, maybe I just read it, but I have to check on that. Okay, we'll go back and check. We'll go back and check on that. Okay, go ahead, Celine.
Hi. Okay, so this is my first time, I guess, learning about you, Ben, and I hope to, learn more and
follow me. Follow me. Follow me on all platforms. I'm on all platforms.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I urge everyone to do so. I think, okay, so I have two questions. My first one will be, because obviously you're Israeli and you were raised in this Zionist society, as we know, majority of all. I want to say a very large majority of Israel are Zionists, and it's very hard to break out of this shell from what we've seen. Do you know, what made you become anti-Zionist despite being raised in this society?
Well, I guess it's a long story, so I don't know if we have time for this.
Can you maybe, it's up to you if you can maybe slim it down a little bit, but we'd like to hear it.
Well, I was always anti-establishment. As a child, I was against the police, against the government. I was always anarchist, punk kid. But I didn't really understand what is Zionism. I knew I was against the government, against the police, but I didn't really understand what is Zionism until I went to university. And in my first year in university, I had a very good professor. And then I learned about colonialism. I learned about Zionism. And from that was 2008, my first year in university in sociology. I studied sociology. And from that point, I became anti-Zionist.
Okay, so for you, it was a matter of education. Now, I feel like for most Zionists, education isn't one of those things that would actually sway them to change. Because I'm sort of a belief that it would be a lot easier if the Israeli society were to somehow be awakened to like basic humanity and become, anti-Zionist, number one, but number two, just at least have some care for Palestinian life and suffering. And I remember I started talking on this app to Zionists when I was like a child. Literally, I was not above the age of 18, and I would be speaking to Zionists on this app way before October 7th. And I'd always wonder, okay, like maybe if I tell them that we're here, we're Palestinians, all these
No,
things
you can't
happen.
talk to them. You can't talk
Yeah,
to them.
it didn't work, right? So that's why I was curious to know. So I don't think the average Zionist would switch through education. I believe it's a matter of arrogance, not ignorance. And in the case of Zionists, and just pure supremacy and psychopathy, like you literally said earlier. But when you look at your average Israeli society, what do you think could awaken them? Because I thought maybe after seeing the atrocities inside of Gaza that maybe they would wake up and be like, this is disgusting, I can't support this. But clearly they don't view Palestinians as humans, so they don't care whether they're alive or dead.
But that's all colonialists. You have
Yeah.
to understand what is colonialism.
Of
And
course.
this is exactly how the Dutch saw the Indonesians, how the Europeans saw the Africans, how they saw the Indians, how they saw the Indians in India and the Indians in the Americas.
The fake Indians, yeah.
All Indians and the Inuit, and there's Yakutsk in Asia, and the Maoris in New Zealand, and the Aborigines in Australia, and the Polynesians. So this is how colonialists see the natives, the natives of the land. They see them as animals. This is the same thing with Zionism. Zionists see Palestinians as animals, like the same way the British saw all of their all of the populations that they
They're
subjugated.
subjects. Yeah. No, yeah, definitely. So wait, do you have any insight as to what you believe may be the solution to this problem? Because again, like I'm of the belief that it would be a lot easier if the Israeli society were to wake up to the reality of
They will not wake
what
up
it is.
because nobody woke up. Okay, the British are still British. They're still colonists. The French still colonize Africa. The Dutch still colonize. They're all still colonizers, and they never shed their colonialist ideologies. They still believe that they are better people than the animals that inhabit the other lands outside of Europe.
Right. No, I mean I completely agree. I
Not just the Israelis. Israelis are not special.
Yeah, good point. I mean, I feel like another aspect to it is like in modern day, you don't see colonialism the way that we used to see it, right? It doesn't look the same, and I think that's what you mean when you say that they're still colonizers. But in the
It's
case
still
of
there.
like,
It's still there.
it's still there, yeah.
France still issues the currency for all of West Africa, and Haiti still pays France for the slaves that they released in 1796. They still pay France money
Right.
Yeah.
today. So no, colonialism never ended. Colonialism is here. Colonialism is now.
Yep.
And if we are against colonialism, we should be against colonialism everywhere. Not just in Palestine, also in America, also in Australia. In Australia, there's still administrative detention for Aborigines. In Australia today.
Wow.
So nothing changed. This is the situation. The situation is that of colonialism, and
Yep.
we should be against it.
Yeah, and I there is a question in the chat. We've seen in the past few months. Thank you, Celine. We've seen in the past few months the settler attacks in the West Bank rise over 80% just in the past few months. The question is, does the Israeli law apply the same punishment to the same alleged crime between Palestinians and Israeli settlers?
No, they don't even get the same system because the Palestinians are tried, as I said, in military court, and the Israelis are tried in civilian courts. So it's not the same system. It's not the same laws. And that's even if they're tried, because usually the Israeli settlers don't even get arrested and don't get prosecuted.
Wow. So all Palestinians, no matter what age they are tried in military court, and all Israelis, if and only if they are tried, it is in civilian courts.
Yes.
Wow. Oh my goodness. This is just more, I mean, people really need to wake up. I don't know how or why, and this is kind of just going back on Celine, but not even for Zionists, but for Americans or for those that are outside that don't see this truth, that don't understand the apartheid, that don't understand how deeply rooted this is in society to the point where they're tried in different courts as Palestinians and as Israelis. Go ahead. I think Rando had another question. Go ahead, Rando.
So, you had said it's kind of two questions. You had said initially that only Palestinians are subject to like security prisoners, right? Or to the
The military courts.
Military court.
military court, right? Sorry. So again, I was looking at the new B'Tselem report, and the IPS said that of the 10,000 plus people that were being held, 507 were citizens of Israel. Are those specifically?
Sorry, I didn't get it. What did you say? What did you ask?
So, the IPS report published in September 2025 said that of the 10,000 plus Palestinians classified as facing military court, 507 of them were citizens of Israel.
No, that's security prisoners. Security prisoners. Security prisoner is not just. It doesn't have to be through the military courts. Of course, most of the security prisoners were tried in military courts, but not all of them.
Okay.
And there are a few Jewish Israelis that are in security, that are security prisoners. But of course, they are not treated the same way as Palestinian security prisoners. Security prisoner is any prisoner that was charged or convicted in a security offense. That's terrorism offenses.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Mostly Palestinians. Mostly Palestinians. There are about 30 Jewish security.
And they could be Israeli Palestinian, like you can be
Yes,
a Palestinian
there
and
are
holding
Palestinian.
Israeli citizenship.
Yes, there are Palestinian Israeli citizens. They are tried in civilian courts. The Palestinian Israeli citizens, Palestinians who hold Israeli citizenship, there are about 2.2 million of them. They are tried if they commit any offense. They are not tried in military courts. They are tried in regular civilian courts.
Can I add something about this? Yeah. So just about like martial law and how it originated in Israel. It wasn't actually used on like the West Bankers or the Gazans at first, right? Because obviously, as we know, Israel only had access to that land after 67, after they illegally occupied it. But a lot of people always forget that the origin of this martial law status started with the quote-unquote Israeli Arabs, as Israelis like to call them. It started with the Palestinian Israelis who had Israeli citizenship, right? So this idea that, oh, well, if they just were Israeli by citizenship, then of course Israel would treat them equally. No, of course
Yes,
that's not the case.
martial
The reality was,
law,
yeah,
martial
yep,
law against Israeli citizens,
yep,
Palestinian Israeli citizens, was
mhm,
ended in December of
66.
1966.
Yep.
Uh,
It ended in
until,
66. Yeah. Not
until
that long
December,
ago.
yeah.
Sorry, I had a second part to my question. So we see these things like B'Tselem, and we see all these reports coming out, and there's more and more testimony. We saw back in November that the experts on the Committee Against Torture issued a report detailing their concerns. And the crux of my question is, what does all this amount to? Like, at what point does somebody step in and do something? What are the legal ramifications for the collective use of torture against Palestinians?
There is none.
Yep,
That's
none.
what he was mentioning before. He's like, this is accepted by the society. And when he complained, and exposed what was going on with his client, his Palestinian prisoner, they said to go file a petition to the Israeli police. Well, we know the Israeli police is the exact same. They're all under the same umbrella. So nothing happened, of course, after that. Um,
Right.
there's there.
What
What
about
was that?
internationally? Like, when is somebody internationally? What international body? What international legal ramifications? I mean, they're breaking, the torture, the Convention Against Torture. They're committing human rights violations. They're breaking the Geneva Convention. Like, where?
Well, one of the flotilla members, if you guys recall, she was also raped, and she never got justice. She was a foreign, and I think she was from the UK or Australia. I don't remember exactly where she was from, and she was also raped while they were kidnapped after being on the flotilla, and there was no justice. They don't believe in international law, and Trump also is the same way. I don't know if you heard him say that they don't really believe in that. So Bibi Netanyahu is the same thing. I mean, he has an arrest warrant and he's still roaming around freely. So there's nothing that can be done unless if it's on a wider scale. Would you agree, Ben?
I don't see anyone stopping them.
Yeah. Wow.
The only thing that we can do is, of course, promote boycott sanctions. You know,
Yeah. Just for Randall, by the way, this is like just about like the international community. The funniest part is if you compare how the international community like responded to groups like in South Africa, for example, to how they're responding to Palestinians, it's almost identical, right? So like because South Africa didn't get its freedom for a good I would say a good 40, 60 years. Like it took them a while to be able to get like true ending of apartheid. And a lot of the time you saw the international community and the UN and blah 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 sending out advisory opinions saying, hey, you shouldn't be able to treat prisoners like this. Oh, you shouldn't be able to continue to have these Bantu stands. You shouldn't be able to do this. And it was done through these advisory opinions. And if you look at Palestine, in the case of Israel, there's like thousands of different UN resolutions and advisory opinions and international involvement. But the reality is there isn't an urgency to actually do like actions, right? They just put out these letters and they don't actually have any ramifications after them. But yeah, that was just what I was going to add because the idea of how they treat prisoners hasn't been a new topic. It's always been discussed in the international court. I remember in 2022, there was the case of Yahya where he was on a hunger strike and the international community got involved and yeah, nobody did anything after that.
Thank you, Celine. Okay, and then we'll take our final question, guys. Go ahead, Gold.
Hi, good morning. Hi, Ben. How are you? Finally, I got to see you. Like do you know that people know you here in America? that you are the very great and good hero in Israel to help people. Like we know you. I was surprised when I saw when one of my friends shared the live. I was so happy and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna see him. You are so blessed. You are the real chosen one, even among the highest majority of the Zios there. You are on the right path. So you are really blessed. Thank you so much for your service. And one more thing, I just have one question. So since we know about the adults, I was like actually crying the whole time I saw you and you were questioning. But my question is just for the little children. They are so little. I mean, they don't need nobody to prove their innocence. So since you are trying to help out those adults, but is there anybody to help those little poor children?
There are state appointed lawyers that are usually dealing with these cases. But yes, every person that is being charged has a lawyer. But of course, today there are many that are not even being charged. So not all of them have lawyers.
They're
So
held without
the
charge.
children, those children can see their parents?
No, they don't see their
No.
parents.
They don't?
No, they are not allowed. We had the example of Muhammad Ibrahim, if you remember. I don't know if you know who he is,
Yeah.
but he was not allowed to see his parents or his family. He didn't know anything. We had him recently with us, and he said he had no idea what was going on in the outside world, that people were advocating for him or what was happening. His cousin that was killed by Israeli settlers, he didn't even know that he died. So they have no connection to the outside world whatsoever. And that's all Palestinian prisoners.
So you think that they'll release the children someday, one day, someday, sometime? You think so?
Yes, probably someday. But then they will
Someday.
arrest them again. But they will arrest them
But
again
they
after
arrest them.
that.
Exactly. How many times do we see the raids? I mean, look at all of the raids that are happening right now inside of the West Bank. They are just picking people up left and right. They're kidnapping them. They're kidnapping the Palestinians. As soon as like you let out 5 or 10 or 15, they'll come and grab 30, 40, 50 more. That's the true. It's a cycle that never ends, and until somebody does something about it. Well, Ben, I wanted to thank you so much for joining us. Is there any last words or anything that you would like to leave us with throughout everything that we have been listening here, and that your advocacy for the Palestinian prisoners and
I want to
you
know
going through? Mhm.
if this video will be published.
Yes.
Where on YouTube
Uh,
or?
yes. I'll post some videos here and then on YouTube as well.
Can you send me the link?
Taz,
Yes, I will.
Okay.
sorry, Taz, I have a question. Sorry, I'm doing a school run here. Sorry, darling. Ben, this is for you. So there's 2 people here in the UK, which I highly recommend you to get in touch. I will type the names into the chat for you. That is Jeremy Corbyn and Zara Sultana. They are 2 members of the MP of the Parliament.
But
Are
what
highly
do I need to talk to them?
just get
what
more
do I need
support,
to
the
get in
better.
touch with them?
Okay.
More
But
support,
what?
the better.
You can have, if you would like to reach out to them, I'm sure, and give them Ben's contact. I'm sure, if there's something that could happen, we can make it happen. Thank you so much, Ben. I appreciate your time and your effort. And please, do you have like a court date happening for these complaints that are against you, or do you have?
No, not yet. No.
Not yet. Okay. All right. Well, keep speaking out, for the Palestinian prisoners, because you're the only voice that they have. Nobody else, again, for anybody that's listening, there is no contact with the outside world as a Palestinian prisoner. You do not have contact with your family. Even contacting your lawyer or having them visit results in you being raped. This is part of the Israeli prison systematic torture towards Palestinians and Palestinians only. And for the record, this is accepted by Israeli society. So this is not just a government issue. This is a society issue. This is an apartheid issue. This is a Zionist issue.
Ideology.
Yes, the Zionist ideology and the Zionist movement. Thank you again so much, Ben, for being with us today. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll keep in
Bye-bye.
touch.
Thank you, everyone.
هو انت جد الاحرار جد الفلسطين